So, are you contributing to the military buildup of China? Well, apparently, millions of American investors are unknowingly paying for China's military buildup, and we find out more about that by bringing on the president of Americans for Limited Government, Rick Manning, joining us this morning. Rick, thanks for being with us this morning. So, let's dive into this. What exactly are we talking about?
Well, it's actually pretty simple, Bill. If people own, for instance, a balanced mutual fund, and either in their personal accounts or in their retirement accounts, or they have a pension, here's what is 99% likely to be true. In that, you have something called an emerging market fund. That emerging market fund has 50% of its money in China. And so you are, in fact, investing in Chinese investments. Every single Chinese, China's a communist country, just to remind everybody, which means they really don't have a private sector. They pretend to for stock market purposes, but when a company begins to be successful, the Communist Party puts people on the board of directors of that company to make certain that that company is doing the bidding of the government of China, of the communist regime of China, and not of the shareholders. So you effectively have lots of your money invested in China. You probably don't even know it. If you're getting a pension, your pension fund is more than likely invested in China. Your Georgia state government is more than likely invested in China, because all these investment advisors tell the state treasurers and the like that they need to be diversified, and being diversified means you need to be in emerging markets, and means you need to be in China, which is the second largest economy in the world. So yes, the bottom line is you are more than likely, and I am more than likely, invested in China. And and quite honestly, we're invested in Chinese companies that are doing really, really bad things. And
Okay.
it's from slave labor to child labor and others.
Yeah, and that was what I wanted to talk a little bit about, because they don't do business the way we do business. We have a lot of folks over here who can complain about their employers or their working conditions or their wages, but, I'm not just saying that sometimes they don't have something to say, but you take a look at what's going on in China and the way a lot of those people are treated, that's horrendous.
Yeah, it is horrendous. Well, one of the keys is that one of the reasons a lot of the corporations went to China was because of cheap labor. The Department of Labor, Secretary Scalia yesterday came out with a recognition of International Religious Liberties Day, where they noted that China has more companies and industries that have been cited by the Department of Labor as using child and slave labor than any other country in the world. The number he put out there was 17 different industries use child and slave labor. And so what we're talking about is, when we're invested in China, we're effectively slaveholders, because we're profiting off of slave labor. We're profiting off of child labor. And I don't know anybody in America in 2020 who wants to be a slaveholder in China.
No.
And or anywhere else for that matter. Right. And so it's reprehensible, but it's even worse than that, Bill, because what was also happening in China we have people being put into concentration camps simply because of the religion, or because they politically disagree with the communist government. We're having people getting travel restrictions, being not able to even move around, having the amount of food that they can get, being restricted by the Chinese government because they're using something called social credit monitoring, actually using technology developed by companies that we're investing in to actually determine every aspect of people's lives and portion out what they're able to get in terms of being able to travel, whether they're able to, what kind of house they can live in, all the things we take for granted that we're able to do based on markets, that's dictated by the government. So if you're a good little person, you get to and the government likes you, you get to have a nice house, you get to have the nice food. If no matter your skills, if the government doesn't like you, you get nothing. So concentration camps, and I've even gotten to the worst part of this, they engage in something in forced organ harvesting where you can schedule, a rich person can schedule an organ transplant in China. Not like we have to do where, you get kidneys rushed to you because when somebody dies and all that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
and there's all sorts of drama.
You're on a waiting list.
No,
You have to wait. Yeah.
You're on a waiting list. In China, you can schedule, I want to go in there on Tuesday to get a kidney, and they have people in concentration camps who they literally use as organ donors. And they empty their bodies out of organs, keeping them alive, and sell their organs. Because in China, you have no individual liberties. So your body isn't your own.
Wow.
Your body is not your own. They actually will kill people, taking the organs one by one out of them to sell to people who want them from around the world.
Rick Manning, our guest.
So reprehensible, it's not believable.
Rick Manning, our guest, president of Americans for Limited Government. Real quick, Rick, before the clock gets us. So that's the situation as it is. What is it that we as individuals can do, and what is it we as a government need to be thinking about?
Well, as individuals, there's one thing that's really easy to do. Go to website set up, divestchinanow.org, divestchinanow.org, and send a letter to the Department of Labor. From there, there's a take action page. And what that letter does is it asks the Department of Labor to end U.S. retirement funds, private retirement funds, for being able to invest in China, because Chinese investments are not only immoral, but they're unsafe. And it's perfectly within the law for the Department of Labor to do that. In fact, they're compelled to do that. But people need to let the Department of Labor know that. And, to show how important this is, Senator Loeffler actually sent a letter to the Department of Labor just a couple of days ago, urging them to divest from Chinese investments because of the abhorrent conditions there and how they're using our money to build a military to kill our soldiers and take away our freedom, as well as the freedoms of their own people. So Senator Loeffler's weighed in heavy with this, which is a big deal. And now I'm asking that people in Georgia weigh in, because this is your voice does matter, and the Department of Labor will listen.
There you go. divestchinanow.org. That's the website to be able to take action.
Yes,
and get a grassroots movement going, because that's what works best in this country, is when we get the grassroots moving and we get involved and invested. And then at that point, we will be able to get by with limited government. And Rick, thanks for being with us, president of Americans for Limited Government. Wish you the best, good health, and thanks for being with us. We'll be checking back with you to see how things are going.
Appreciate it, Bill. Take care.